Karena kaya kalau saya wala sa karna kaya sa karna ala dia. Bahasa sa isa ko sa kanila. Tuwa na kayo pula ba tuwa kalimutan din mo. Kaya pula ko sa kalimutan din mo. Ito lang ako.
Cuma PPHMV.
Ano di mo ba mo kundi magaling din mo. Karena dia ada mo tuwa na musik din. Basta din din. Luwa ko na bila ito. Bila ito na lang. Ito support. Mana sama.
Não, tá, dá tempo. Nome, né? De um mês, dá tempo. Isso.
Right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending to this third meeting that we are having for our project AEWiA. And before we are starting, as you can see on my screen, I'm sharing you some of our links where you can find us and where you can also keep posted about everything we're going to do. So if you scan any of these two QR codes, the first one you can find our website where we are uploading everything that we are producing and also all the updates about our activities. So anything that you will need to know about our project, it's just right there. And also we have created a community, which is in a WhatsApp group where we can discuss about more topics that we are dealing with during these training courses. So you can also feel free to join if you want to, and you can scan the QR codes well. And also, if you have any questions, any doubts after the training course, you can also reach us out through this email address that you can find here. And we're also in social media. So you have our tag here with the name of the project and also our two profiles. So in case you want to reach us out, you can access through any of these links. So I'm Isabella Dienza. I think maybe some of you already know me. I'm the project manager of this project, and I'm gonna be with you today during this training course. So before I start telling you a bit about the content we're gonna see today, we're gonna be talking about today, just to refresh a bit about what's our project about. So then, as you know, it's African European Women in Action, and the acronym is AEWiA. And what we are seeking is to empower young women and enhance their roles in fostering intercultural dialogue between Africa and Europe. And we want to do it by leveraging intangible cultural heritage as a unifying resource. And when it comes to our specific objectives, we want to increase the knowledge, the skills, and also the abilities of youth workers related to IH as a tool for promoting women for sustainable development. We also want to promote the sharing of knowledge and traditions related to women within the society. And last but not least, we are looking forward to improving the advocacy and networking capacities of women by using potential of digital technologies. So in order to do so, as you can see of my screen, we are doing different activities. Maybe I'm going to zoom in a bit because it may be a bit tiny. So the first step is where we are right now, and it's the last step for the first step, which is a training course that it's called Women in Action for Heritage and Sustainable Development. This is the third training course we have had. In case that you are interested and you couldn't attend to the previous two, you can also access to them through our website. We are uploading everything there because all the sessions are being recorded. And yeah, so as I said, we had already two online meetings, and now we have the third one. And what we want to do here is to collect all the material that you as participants created, and the final product will be an ebook that will be about intangible cultural heritage and women in diplomacy. And so also every material that you will produce today will be inside this ebook, and you could access to that later on going through our website. So then the next step we're going to do after this training course will be a discussion forum. For that, we'll have 7 online meetings among young women. And when we will be doing that, we will create a massive open online course for Female Heritage Globe. And so that will be the next step after these 3 training courses. And lastly, we'll have a second training course online again, and this time it will be more focused on advocacy through digital technology. And when we'll be doing that, we'll have some online training workshops. As I mentioned, they will be dedicated to young women from the 6 countries of the partnership. The other ones that you can see below in all the slides. And we will be working on how to create an advocacy campaign. We'll also collect 10% data to make communication more effective. And again, we'll be working on advocacy and social media. So that will be all the steps that when it comes to the online meetings that you can also join us later on. But again, all the information will be either on social media, the ones that I mentioned before, the website, or also in the WhatsApp group. So when it comes to our content today, we are going to be talking again a bit about Agenda 2030, as we did in the previous training courses. We'll be also talking about intangible heritage that I will refer as IH for most of the slides. So then after we introduce a bit these 2 topics, we'll also go through some study cases of women and IH, as you can see here. So before I go deep into the theory, I would like to quote that cultural heritage is not limited to only monuments and collection of objects, but it also includes traditional living expressions inherited from our ancestors. So that will be what we'll be dealing today. And this is a quote that you can find in from the UNESCO. And no, this is not the right order. So before I start talking about it, I would like to play this video so we can see how some people how some people perceive ICH, and just allow me to share with you another screen. So we can play that.
And conduct regular audits. Use diverse representative data sets for
second.
Ensure transparency through clear documentation.
Okay, here we are.
Communication. Maintain human oversight for all AI-generated decisions. Employ sustainable techniques to provide clarity on AI decision-making processes. Conduct regular training sessions for employees on ethical AI practices. Use bias detection tools to identify and correct bias. As we continue to integrate GenAI project management, it's vital to stay informed about the latest research and best practices. By doing so, we can ensure that we use these powerful tools responsibly and ethically. Engaging with the broader AI community and participating in discussions about AI ethics can also help us stay ahead of emerging challenges and opportunities. Welcome to the final video of the GenAI for Project Managers course. Congratulations on making it this far. You've taken a significant step forward, enhancing your project management skills.
All right, so now that we have watched it, you can also, while I go through the theory, you can also write on the chat what it means to you after what we watch. And I'm gonna share again with you all the presentation. Just a second.
Discussing history.
Here we are. So moving on, we're gonna start to introduce intangible cultural heritage. So it refers. I would just ask you one thing: if you could mute your microphone in case that you want to add something. Of course, feel free to open it, but if not, please just mute it. So as I was saying, ICH refers to practices, representations, expressions, knowledge, and skills transmitted from generation to generation. And UNESCO defines it as living traditions that communities recognize as integral to their cultural identity. And unlikely tangible heritage, which is buildings, monuments, and artifacts. Intangible heritage is dynamic, it's continuously evolving, and relying on human interaction. When it comes to the key features of ICH, we have that it is practiced and passed on within communities while keeping traditions alive and relevant. It also includes oral traditions, performing arts, rituals, festive events, and traditional craftsmanship. It does reflect the identity, values, and history of a community, fostering this a sense of belonging. It promotes as well sustainable development by integrating traditional knowledge with modern needs, especially in agriculture, healthcare, and education. And lastly, UNESCO's Convention for the Safeguarding of ICH that was made in the 2003, it aims to preserve and promote these traditions globally. So if we wonder about the UNESCO's role, it does provide a framework to document, to protect, and also to share ICH, listing them on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. I'm going to show you the link that you can access to that, because later on we're going to need that for you to work a bit on that topic. And through that recognition, it helps communities to gain global awareness and also support from preservation efforts. Of course, despite its importance, IEH faces threats like globalizations, we are all aware, cultural homogenization, and the lack of documentation, and this can lead to its potential disappearance. Since we already talked about it in the previous training courses, in case that you want to go deep on these topics, I left here some links that you can access later. As I said previously, you will have the access of this to this presentation later. You'll find it on our website. So in case you are more curious about it, you have a few links here. Because now I will also like to introduce the next topic by quoting this. So intangible heritage is vital in achieving sustainable development, from empowering communities to fostering cultural identity. So as I said, most of the time that I'm going to talk about intangible heritage, I will name it as IH, as well as for the sustainable development goals, I will name it as CDG. So ICH plays a critical role in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And how it does it, it's by preserving cultural traditions. ICH directly contributes to social cohesion, economic opportunities, and sustainable practices by addressing various global challenges. So our key CDGs will be the ones that I'm showing you here on our screen. So the first one will be the goal number 5, which relates to gender equality. So I'm gonna name that briefly. So what's that about? So women are key custodians of ICH, from traditional weaving and storytelling to rituals and healing practices, as we'll see later on with some study cases. So this goal empower women through cultural heritage, and it does provide economic opportunities and leadership roles. And an example of that we will see later it's Berber women in Morocco, because they preserve carpet weaving and they contribute to their independence and social standing. When it comes to goal number 8, it is about to have a decent work and economic growth. So ICH related industries like handicrafts, tourism, and performing arts, they create jobs and support local economies. Another example that we have, and we'll see a bit later, it's the Maya weavers in Guatemala. They benefit from fair trade initiatives, ensuring economic growth aligned with cultural preservation. Then dealing with goal number 11, sustainable citizen communities. So by integrating ICH into urban and rural plannings, it enhances cultural identity and resilience. An example that I'm not going to be talking about it today, but maybe as we have some members of our partnership from this country, maybe it'll come out later. So I'm talking about Maasai women's oral traditions that promote sustainable tourism, and they create economic benefits while preserving cultural integrity. Then, when it comes to goal number 12, which is responsible consumption and production, promoting traditional crops and sustainable practices reduces environmental impacts. And an example of that is use of natural dyes and materials in weaving, because it aligns with eco-friendly production methods. And last but not least, when it comes to goal number 4, and it's a quality education, by teaching ICH in schools, we can foster cultural appreciation, and we can transmit traditional knowledge to future generations. And an example of that, it's in India. So they incorporate local heritage into school curriculum. And of course, this is not free of challenges, because again, we can find a lack of funding, globalization, as I mentioned before, and again, not enough documentation. Then here on my screen, you can see all the sustainable goals. But again, we saw each of them previously in the first training course. So if you are curious about it, you can just check one of the links that I previously show you. And then we're going to move to the next step, that it's the role of women as custodians of cultural knowledge. So women are not only custodians of our past, but also the architects of sustainable futures through cultural heritage. And that's what we're going to be talking about from now on. So women play a vital role in preserving and transmitting ICH, as they are the primary bearers of our traditions. They maintain the culture fabric of societies, and they ensure its survival for future generations. Besides that, women contribute significantly to social cohesion and also economic growth, because they leverage their cultural knowledge in several industries. So when it comes to the key contributions of women in CH, we have the preservation and transmission, because women are often responsible for passing down oral traditions, rituals, crafts, and culinary practices as well. When it comes to the economic empowerment, women lead initiatives in ICH create sustainable livelihoods, particularly in the handicrafts, textiles, and tourism, as I mentioned before. Then we have social development, because women's participation in cultural activities fosters community engagement and also social inclusion. And lastly, we have leadership in sustainability. So women incorporate traditional ecological knowledge into modern practices, and by doing so, they promote sustainability in fields like agriculture, healthcare, and crafts. An example of that will be one of our study cases that we'll see later, which is Indian women practicing Ayurvedic medicine. As they combine traditional healing with modern health solutions, they improve actually local healthcare systems. Then again, of course, we may face some challenges, because women's contributions to ICH are often undervalued due to the systematic gender inequalities. And we may also face a lack of access to resources, trainings, and markets hinders the full participation. But as we have challenges, we also have some possible solutions. So some of them will be empowering women through education, funding, and policy reforms, because it ensures the continued preservation of CH while we promote the gender equality. Now we're gonna go to our last part. That will be the case studies. 3 case studies we're gonna be talking about of women and IH. So I'm showing you here 3 images of each of the study cases I'm gonna talk about now. So first we have the Berber communities of Morocco. We have also, secondly, Maya weavers in Guatemala, and lastly we have the women in Ayurvedic medicine in India. The first I'm gonna be talking about, it's Berber communities and trying to understand what is the role of women in this community. So this is deeply rooted in Morocco's heritage. The geometric patterns and also the vibrant colors, they symbolize the aspect of Berber life, including nature, tribal stories, and spiritual beliefs. So that's why each carpet is unique, because they represent the individuality of the weaver and also her environment. Women are the primary weavers in Berber communities, with skills traditionally passed from mother to daughter. And beyond creating beautiful craftsmanships, these women act as custodians of CH, because they preserve designs, and by weaving techniques that reflect centuries of traditions, that's how they preserve it. Of course, it has an economic impact, because carpet weaving is often the main source of income for rural Berber families. So the sale of these carpets sustains the households, and it also provides women with financial independence, as they contribute to household decisions and also community development. So during the link to our goals, we are going to talk about the connection to the CDG goal number 5, which I mentioned before, so the gender equality. Because through women's role as weavers, they gain skills that increase their social and economic status. As they participate in cooperatives and training programs, they learn leadership, marketing, and also financial management. They promote as well gender equality in traditional male-dominated settings, which is quite important. When it comes to these training programs, we can find several NGOs and international organizations that actually support Berber women by offering trainings to enhance their techniques, and also to promote fair trade and expand access to global markets. Example of that would be UNESCO, as we were talking previously. They offer training programs, and we have another NGOs such as Orphans Rural Women's Empowerment. They have some initiatives in Morocco. And I was mentioning before that it has an impact on the economy of the country, but it also have an impact on families and communities, since empowered women contribute to a better education, healthcare, and opportunities for their children, because and doing that, they foster long-term communities development. So how do they preserve the ICH? So when it comes to the transmission of knowledge, younger generations are taught weaving techniques, and then they foster a sense of culture, pride, and continuity. This intergenerational exchange ensures the survival of Berber traditions in a rapidly globalization world. As we were mentioning before, that could be one of the challenges they may face. And then we also have the global recognition and support that, for example, UNESCO representative list of ICH includes, since they include Moroccan craftsmanships on this list, and they highlight the importance of preserving traditional practices. Now, moving on to our second study case, we have Maya weavers in Guatemala. So this is a centuries-old craft central to the cultural identity of Maya communities in Guatemala. The patterns and motifs are often inspired by nature, again, mythology, and community history. So these textiles are more than functional items. Actually, they're symbols of Maya heritage and storytelling. When it comes to the role of women, so Maya women are the principal weavers, again, as in the Berber community. They create textiles by using backstraps, looms, and which is a traditional tool that has been used for a generation, and it's actually the one that you can see in the image here. So again, this craft is passed from mother to daughter, and by doing so, they foster, again, intergenerational knowledge transfer and culture pride. Again, it has an economic impact, and it's quite important because weaving provides a vital source of income for rural women. It enables them to support the families and also to contribute to local economies. These textiles are sold in local markets, and increasingly through global fair trade networks, they are enhancing the visibility of Maya craftsmanships worldwide. Again, we can find a connection to the CDG's goals 8 and number 12. When it comes to number 8, which is decent work and economic growth, weaving generates employment for thousands of women in rural Guatemala, so they provide a sustainable livelihood. Some comparatives and training programs empower women to access to larger markets. Also, they can negotiate fair prices and thus improve product quality. Then when it comes to the connection to the goal number 12, we have responsible consumption and production. So Maya weaving uses environmentally friendly practices such as natural dyes and hand loom textiles, as I mentioned before, which minimize ecological footprints, which is quite important. And also they promote traditional weaving, and that supports sustainable fashion as it reduces reliance on industrial production. Then again, the question we maybe wonder, so how do they preserve this ICH? So again, there is the transmission of knowledge. So the art of weaving is a cornerstone of Maya culture, as I mentioned previously, as it symbolizes the resilience and continuity. Mothers teach daughters the significance of design, the colors, and weaving techniques, and that ensures the survival of these traditions. We also have the global recognition and support, again recognized by UNESCO as a part of ICH of humanity. Maya women weaving receives international attention and funding for preservation. Again, one of the challenges that we mentioned previously is the globalization and mass production threaten the demand for traditional textiles And another challenge may be the younger generations are increasingly drawn to urban areas, so that limits the continuation of weaving traditions. And then lastly, I'm going to talk to you about the study case that is understanding Ayurvedic medicine. So Ayurveda is one of the world's oldest system of medicine, and it has been practiced in India for over 5,000 years now. It does emphasize a holistic approach to health, focusing on balance between the body, the mind, and the spirit. This practice incorporates herbal remedies, dietary adjustment, yoga, and meditation. Again, the role of women are vital to preserve and practice Ayurveda. Again, in rural India, women often serve as community healers, preparing remedies using traditional knowledge passed down through generations. They also act as educators by sharing the principles of Ayurveda with their families and also communities. Again, we can see the economic impact and importance, as many women have turned the knowledge of Ayurveda into livelihood opportunities, as they produce herbal products, offering wellness consultations, and also working in the Ayurvedic tourism industry, which is huge nowadays in India, and it also attracts global visitors to the country. When we are talking about the connection again to the CDG goals, we can see the link to the goal number 3 and number 4. We have goal number 3, which is, as I would like to remind you, the good health and well-being. So Ayurveda promotes preventive healthcare and wellness by contributing to improved public health outcomes. Women-led Ayurveda initiatives provide affordable healthcare in underserved rural areas, which is quite important as well. And then lastly, we have the connection to goal number 4, which is quality education. So education initiatives, they aim at teaching Ayurveda, and they want to do it by including formal training programs and also grassroots efforts to pass on traditional knowledge. And women are both recipients and transmitters of this education, and they try to ensure the continuation of these practices. And then again, the same point. So how do they preserve this ICH? Again, we find the same aspect. So the transmission of knowledge. Again, mothers and grandmothers are key figures in teaching Ayurvedic principles, remedies, and practices within families. And this way, they can ensure that the knowledge remains alive. Again, we have global recognition and support. So Ayurveda has gained international recognition with practices like yoga and herbal medicines. But when it comes to the challenges, again, we may face a few ones. So modernization and urbanization threaten the transmission of Ayurvedic knowledge. And there's also another aspect that misuse and over-commercialization of Ayurvedic product may risk undermining its authenticity. So this is, again, since we don't have so much time to go deeper with all these study cases, I'm also written here some references and resources. The first one is what we were talking at the beginning, so more general knowledge about ECH, and you can find all the links here. And when it comes to the study cases I was talking about, in case you are curious about it, you can also go through these links and then you can have more information about it. So now I'm going to stop talking a bit so that you don't get so tired of me, and it's time to it's time for you actually to contribute. So what we're going to do is the first activity that you can either access to the platform by scanning this QR code that you have, or also I send you in the WhatsApp group the link where you can access to this platform. I'm gonna resend that again so you can have the access to that. And now in the meantime, while you try to access to this platform, I'm gonna show you what you are gonna actually find and what you would have to do now. Just give me a couple of minutes. All right. So some of you that were attending already to the previous training courses, you may be familiarized with this platform. So the first activity that you will have to do is to actually find one or more elements that that you would like to add to your study case. So each of you right now would have to work on a study case. You have a couple of links here. So if you can actually access to Miro platform, you can access to these two links that will direct you to UNESCO platforms, and then you can look for some study case there, and then you can look for elements such as family, community, politics, or economy, whatever that you are more interested in. And then whatever you find and what you would like to share, you can copy paste it here. So the link that you would like to share with us, and that will be actually on the ebook that I was mentioning at the beginning. You can copy it here, and then we'll work on that later to include it on our ebook. So this is for the ones who can access to this platform. In case you have no access to the platform, you can also, I'm gonna send you the links here again on the chat so that you can also access to them. And if you cannot access to Miro, you can also copy paste the link on the Zoom chat. Okay, so either on this platform or on the chat of the meeting, you can copy paste the study case that you would like to share with us. In case that you wonder how you can paste the link on this platform, you can either use this, the T that you can see here, so you can write something here so you can see it. Or also, if you prefer, you can also take a sticky note and then put it here, and then you can also write here. So whatever it's more comfortable for you, you can use this platform to share with us the study case that you will decide to choose. So now you have about half an hour to work on that. So again, you have two links that you can use here on the platform. Again, you have it on the chat, and then look for some study case or study cases if you want to share more than one that it means something to you, and then we'll share that together. So just for me to understand, is there any doubt? Do you all know what you have to do, or is there something that you want to ask? Okay, Edwin, I will also write in the instructions on the WhatsApp. But whatever you need during this half an hour, I'm gonna be here. So just tell me and then write it on the chat, or just unmute yourself, and then I will be here to answer you. So from now on, you have half an hour to work on the task that I'm gonna write on the chat.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, Isa.
Hi,
This
good
is
afternoon.
Viakono from you. Yeah, this we are Kono from Uganda. We are just
Hi.
learning. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you. So now I was thank you. I'm so bad at pronouncing this, probably by Kuno. So now what you have to do is what I wrote here. So look for a study case. Also, you can look for 2 or more if you want to, and then you can share the link with us either here on this platform on the chat, or if not, you can also do on the Miro platform that I share with you. But again, any doubt you may have, I'm gonna be here for this 30 minutes. So feel free to ask whatever you need.
Zinachukuanga hivi. Kuna siku tushajipata tumepanda tutapata parking space ya huko. Sema tena kama inataka kuisha. Kama imechelewa sana. Sherehe nimeita. Ama wewe kufika kwa kawaida. Supposed to be walikuwa wanatoka hapa 1:30. unajua mi na keep time kidogo hatuelewanangi. Nilikuwa nataka kutoka kwa nyumba 120. Mwa aliendesha baiskeli bila pressure.
Baiskeli ungeendesha hivyo mpaka kwa kina Korazi.
Ona, si ni mteremko. Wajua ni mteremko yote. Sasa shida ni sayaku.
Sehemu ya kurudi unapita na ile ni mteremko.
Afadhali nitumie tu hii. Ile ingine ile ni stress. Juu mteremko ni moja. Hizo zingine ni milima. All through. Alafu hii milima ni moja tu, shida ni steep. Niko Zoom meeting na naona participants but hakuna mtu anaongea ba. Ni ya last year, ndio ya kwanza. Zimekuwa trainings 3, mimi ndo na attend ya kwanza na ni ya mwisho.
Salama. Niwe na saka. Sawa. Uko nayo? Sawa. I've seen I missed your call. Who's doing this, all this to you? Ama tunamzuia
Enye love is beautiful. Unikalipata mtu akamwambia sipendi gredi.
Sina maana sasa sura ijarudi vile inafaa. Hujaingia ligi yetu.
Nilienda kurisachiwa.
Sorry, tunakaa. Bado tuko kwa umbea kidogo. Kwaje Frank?
Dema anaulizwa kile alafu anasema ati
tuliambiwa kitabu tunde tusahau. But sasa nasikia kuna watu waliendesha. Kuna watu walidrive gari.
Fiti.
Huyu alishanigotea.
Nenda urudi.
Go serve for me. Xavier. Because meeting sisikishi yet, lakini nasikia watu wanafanya vitu. Hiyo si nani si yangu.
Kani kwa sasa hiyo ni
Uko safe. Mbona unajishuku? It was when? It was on was it on Monday or on Tuesday? It was on Tuesday, sindio? On Tuesday. You have Wednesday. Today is on Thursday. Unashuku nini?
Okay, issue is hata sikujua bado ziko. Nyinyi ndio mliniambu.
Sasa hiyo ziko.
Monday, Tuesday.
Hiyo ni long sana. Hakunywa soda.
Jasima hivi. Aendelee tu sio?
Lakin hari ini masih oke. Maka itu setelah nah otak
So you still have 5 minutes, but just in case you're wondering how to share the link with us on the Miro platform, you can also do that through the chat, as many of you are doing. But just in case for you to see it, so I can see one study case here from Francisca Harry. So you just have to copy the link, and then if you go here, as I'm showing you my screen, you can see a free type here, right? So if you click twice and then you click on paste, you already have it there. You can just write study case, or in case you want to write what's the study case about, and you just have to click twice and paste a link here. So then you already would have it, and we would have the access to the link. But again, if you prefer to do that, to share that with us in the chat, that's also totally fine.
Imefanyiwa
Okay, so now that I can see that you have sent already lots of study cases either here on the chat, but also on the Miro app. So we can, if you want, we can start to share in case you want to share with us what you were looking for, what you found, something interesting that you would like to share with us. Feel free to do it. So if you want to do it, you can unmute yourself and then you can talk to us a bit about your study case. So now it's your time. In case, of course, anyone wants to share it, you can also type it on the chat if you want to share with us what you found. You can talk and unmute yourself, whatever you prefer. I can see some of you are still working on the Miro app. That's going to be also available for later. So in case that after the training course you want to keep on looking for more study cases that you would like to add here, feel free to do that as well, because you're going to have the access. So you can keep on adding later. Okay, I can see something that Elvis shared with us here. So I'm gonna read it out loud so that you can all learn from that as well. So according to the Tunisian author and politician, that's going to be so difficult for me to pronounce, Abdelaziz Talbi, probably was bad pronounced, but I tried it. The woman is the guardian of the family, the conservative society. This quote echoes the Eagle's call, the reproductive work of women, which focuses on the family, the education of children, and what the academic Naila cover identifies as the communal role of women, a term used for the work done by women for the community, and therefore, I'm not going to pronounce this again, but this person argues through their community role, women are the guardians of society. And this role refers to women's responsibility for the transmission of costumes and traditions, which UNESCO once again has defined as intangible cultural heritage. Thank you, Elvis, for sharing that. Anyone else that would like to share what you found out? You can also do a selfies if you don't want to talk out loud, speak out loud. You can also share that on the chat. Or if you don't want to share, that's also fair enough. We can move to the second and last activity. It was right down here, but I can see some of you created a piece of art here. But well, I'm just gonna write again the instructions here so you can follow me and you can work on the last activity. Okay, well, let's just do it a bit smaller. Okay. No. So what you would have to do now, again, this would be an individual task that you would do. Just gonna write it here so you can all have the access. Okay, so first of all, what you would have to do is to choose an aspect of your heritage that you would like to share with us. So it can be, as you can see here, story, a recipe, or a craft, or a tradition that you have in your community or that you know about and you would like to share that with us. Then I would ask you to prepare a brief presentation. I wrote here 5 minutes in case you want to share that with us later, but if not, you can also just write it here on the app, on the Miro app, or on the chats as you did previously. And okay, so here we don't need that, and we don't need this either. So here, again, prepare a presentation or just write a brief presentation for us to understand what's the aspect of your heritage that you are sharing. And then also, I would like you to tell us why it's meaningful to you. So this would be the last activity that we will do. And again, it would be on the ebook that would be our final product of this step of the project. So please, whatever that you would like to share with us, feel free to do it. And then later, if you want to explain us more about it and give us more detail, we'll be happy to hear from you. So again, for this task, you will have 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna write the same instructions here. I'm gonna write it on the chat, and then you can work again either here in the chat, or you can also share that with us on the Miro app. Or in case that you want to share it straight away with us by speaking out loud, again, feel free to do so. And if you have any doubt about what you have to do right now, again, let me know and I'll be happy to assist you. Also, as I know that maybe some of you are not familiarized with this app, and also it's now quite intuitive. So I'm just gonna show you how you can add more information, because the activity one that you can see up here, that's already completed. Again, if you want to keep on working later, you can add whatever that you find interested and that you want to interesting, and that then you want to share that with us. Now we're going to move down here where you can see activity number 2, where you have the instructions here, but also on the chat. And I'm adding here some stickers, so where you can also write. So I'm just writing at it here, so you can add the information here. So imagine that I want to talk about pizza, and then why it's meaningful to me and why it's a part of the heritage of my country and so on. So whatever you want to type, you can do it here. But also, if you want, you can also add another sticky note all over here, okay? So that's the way you can do it here. If not, again, on the chat, you have 20 minutes to think about it and share that with us.
Ọ bụ ebula na onye na-agwa gị na
Okay, guys, so time's off, but can we write up, please? Yeah, sure. So what I was going to say is that time is off now. But again, if you would like to add some more elements of the one that we were asking, you will have the access to this platform later. And also, if you want to keep on discussing about it, you'll have the WhatsApp group, or also add any comment on our website, and you'll have more opportunities to keep on talking about these topics. But just before we close the session, any one of you would like to share something that you wrote here on the app or also on the chat? So I can see we have a few texts here and also some of them in the chat. Because of course I could read them, but I think it's probably better if, in case that you want to share it, that you do it yourself. But just in case that you want to do it. I can see here come the storytelling tradition that that you wrote about, or you also wrote about a region of southern Lazio. Also, you are giving us here an example of the Africa region. What else do we have here? Also, some examples in Kenya from the Maasai women. Yeah, Felista, please go on.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for the presentation, and we are learning a lot.
Thank you.
I'm going to share something about our culture here in Kenya, the Kamba culture, and it's about family. Family used to be sacred traditionally, but nowadays we are more divided. There's a lot of hatred in the family. In our culture, we use, let's say, for example, I shared about a death let's say there's a death in the family, and let's say it's a son, and a son has a family, a wife and children. Before, other family members used to take care of the children, the wife and the children. The responsibility was given to the elder son or the younger. The family knew that it was their responsibility to take care of that family. And we used to respect the dead. We believe that they were intercessors between our God, Ngai. We call God Ngai, our God, and us. So we respected them very much. But today, when a person dies in the family and they have family, children or a wife, they are usually chased away. The land is taken, the properties, the son head is taken, and the children become street children. That's if the mother is unable to take care of them, or she maybe decides to go back to her family and then leaves the children. So now in Kenya, we have more street children than before. And it's because of this. We no longer, respect the dead. We don't see them as valuable anymore. When the person dies, it's, they're gone. You don't see any repercussions or any consequences of mistreating their family. So I wish we would go back to that, because I'm working with an organization, and there's this child that was in school, and then when his father died, the relatives chased him away, and he had to go, seek for food, shelter in other homes, and no one was taking care of him. So he was planning on dropping, from school. But fortunately, then, we found him, and he's now doing well. We found another organization to support him, support his education, and a family. Another person who is not even related to his family took him, to live with him. So this is something that is really bad. It's not that he did not have a home. His father had a beautiful home, but now it was taken by the relatives. It's so sad. So I wish we can go back to that tradition we had. Thank you.
Thank you, Felista, for sharing with us. It's so important that we are aware about that kind of situation that you were mentioned, so that we can actually do something to bear that, or to find other ways to solve their situation. So thank you very much, Felista. Anyone else that would like to share something with us? Because if not, I'm not gonna take much more of your time. Just allow me 1 second to share with you one more thing, which is right here. And this is actually quite important for us, because it's a way to help us to improve for the next steps that we will have during our project. So you can do it in 2 ways. So this is a really brief survey that it's just for you to give us your feedback. So how do you like the session? If you thought that there were some things that could be improved, or some other topics that you would like to talk more about, if you would like to have more time, less time, whatever that you want to share with us, it's going to be anonymous. So feel free to actually write what you thought of this and how you perceive it. So either you can scan it on my through the QR code that you find on my screen, or you can also access to that through the link that I sent on the chat. So yeah, so I'm just gonna leave you with that. I'll also share that with you on email, so that if you registered, that I assume you did, you can also have the access to that, and you can do it now or later, just when you find the couple of minutes to do it, because it would really help us. And also, and just promise that I'm just gonna finish with this. As I showed you at in the beginning, so we have already completed most of the first step. So these 3 training courses. Now it will come the time to work on this ebook that we will organize, and we will edit all the information that you share with us, and we'll include that there, and then you will have the access to that later. And then we will also inform you about our next step. That will be the discussion forum. So in case that you are interested to participate on these online meetings that we'll have in the next month, we'll be more than happy to see you and to interact with you again. So yeah, I think that's everything that I needed to tell you. And thank you once again for attending this training course and for all your contributions, and hope you have okay. And just 1 second, that a colleague of mine needs to just do something for the content. And yeah, here she is. So Eloisa, I guess some of you already know her. She was facilitating the second training course, and today she's with us, even though you didn't see her until now. But she was here all the time. So so yeah, once again, thank you very much, and we will keep you posted on our social channels and WhatsApp group and all the channels we have. So in case that you want to join us on the next steps, you'll be more than welcome. We'll be more than happy to have you once again. So thank you, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.